is to fix the problem of access to credit. This is something that hackers do not usually think about, but it's a big problem because the access to credit right now is self-referential, is restricted, slow, and inefficient. Meaning that basically only those who already have money get credit. But this doesn't make much sense because when you need credit, it's because you don't have money and you want to implement a business idea or something into the real world. So it's self-referential and it's a vicious circle. It is also restricted because it's kind of pyramidal. So people who are connected in the pyramid of finance, well connected, get credit easier than people that maybe have bright ideas, bright business ideas, but they are not connected. It takes days, it's slow, there are humans in the middle who have to validate if you deserve credit or not, and it's got very low success rate. While access to information, if you compare it, it's very fast. You know, when you need information, you access it fast, you have it immediately, it's universal, wherever you are. If you have electricity, you have internet, you can access any information very fast within seconds, and it's very efficient because there are no humans involved. What if banks own search? Just to give an example of this. Imagine the banks own the search, internet search industry. If you wanted to know something about endocrinology, for example, maybe you have this curiosity, you now search on Google, you know, you search hormone, and you click return, and you have the results. If banks own search, you would go to a banker, to a table, and you would say, you know, I need to know a bit about endocrinology, and he would ask, how many books, endocrinology books do you already have? If you had none, you would go back home. If you had a huge library of endocrinology books, then maybe, maybe it could take days for the banker. It's his job, you know, nobody is doing evil, but his job would be to validate if you have read in the past already enough about endocrinology, and then maybe in a matter of days or weeks or months you would have the results. So compare this with Google, you search, you have the results. It's very different. So access to credit is broken. We said banks are risk adverse, but poor people are trustworthy. So poor people, when they have the chance, they pay back. The credit is very connected with wealth of nations, so it's very, very important to fix this issue, because when credit is not working, the economy is not working, and credit right now is a vicious circle. Only those who have money get credit easily. There is another problem that the next currency should fix. The problem is the problem of overproduction. It is something that economists know, something that probably you don't know about. It's very hard to grasp, but basically, in our current system, in our current fiat system, when the system becomes too efficient, when we produce too much, the system can collapse. So it's a so-called overproduction crisis, something that you can read in economics manuals. It's a bit complex how it works, but basically, it's like if you write code that is too efficient, too beautiful, too perfect, the whole system collapses. If you imagine such a thing, it's very hard to imagine it, but that's how economics works. Is it really overproduction or is it underconsumption? We have in 2001 we had, actually this was 2001, in 2001 we had 9 million people died of starvation, but we also spent 150 million to destroy 1 million tons of edible food in the EU to keep prices high. So what is this? This looks as a protocol issue. So we have the people who want to consume. We have the people who want to produce. These agents cannot communicate because the current protocol doesn't allow them to communicate efficiently. But this current protocol is so mainstream right now and in the past that we have a hard time figuring out that it's a protocol issue and not an objective issue. If you put yourself outside of the picture, you see that it's a protocol issue. And we can develop a better protocol to avoid this problem. Same example in Greece. In 3 years, unemployment grew from 7% to 21%. Did Greek people become stupid in these 3 years? Are they unable to produce things? No, their skills are the same. Did their needs drop? Do they need to eat half? No. Maybe if they were on a huge diet, maybe, but they have the same needs. So skills are the same, needs are the same. Why is unemployment growing? Because it's a protocol issue. Producers are there, consumers are there, they have a hard time communicating economically. This is connected with the problem with the issue of abundance in the internet. Internet wants abundance, internet drives abundance, there are negligible marginal costs, we can multiply information with virtually no cost, and the audience is there. There's a huge audience of human beings that want to consume information, they're already downloading and doing it illegally, but they want this stuff, but the economic currency, the currency system is not allowing them to do so legally, to do so easily. So if Bitcoin is like gold, it's scarce and limited, the next currency should be like the Patreon, should be abundant, should go well together with the abundance that with the technological abundance that the internet already has. So to sum it up, the next currency should have and fix the access to credit issue, the abundance issue, and should be crisis-proof, meaning that the crisis is not a crisis of skills, it's not a crisis of needs, it's a crisis of protocol. So the next currency should fix this issue. Our invite then is to go and hack the money. Money is information, as we said. Currency is a protocol. The current protocol is blatantly broken, and the internet needs its own currency. And for that matter, humankind needs a next currency. Let's hope that by 2020, which is pretty far away, this happens. Also, it is very profitable because the best way to make money is to make the money. So in this example, we have Satoshi Nakamoto, who's stepping into his laptop some wealth. His wealth in Bitcoin is worth around $5 million US. And you can see in the background how the Bitcoin value grew over time in a matter of months. So it's really up, it's huge, and it's also very profitable. So if you have to spend your time and thinking into something, can be both useful and profitable, please think about currencies. Think about developing currencies. Talking about us, our contribution is that we started up a company that is called Dropis, as I said, and we are developing a currency. And we're Leonardo Delle Perna, Leonardo Midacca, Gabriele Lana, and Federico Galassi. We're working right now on this. There's people who work with us in this room also, Andrea and Piero, and people who will help us in the future. So I hope that's pretty clear. If anybody in this room is an investor, I don't think so. You can write on invest at Dropis, work at Dropis if anyone wants to help us. And we have a Twitter account and a web page here. So I think we're ready for questions.
I have a question about the deflation crisis. Yeah. You showed me Bitcoin suffered for a deflation crisis, a severe deflation crisis. What are your ideas to avoid them?
Deflation crisis.
Yeah.
And it's a big debate because some people say that what is a deflation crisis? Deflation crisis is when prices go down. So basically, the value of the money is going up. So basically, you don't want to spend the money because it's getting value over time. So it puts the currency in a paradox because on the one hand, you want to store it. On the one hand, if you don't spend it, it's not a currency anymore because a currency has to be spent. Which is the situation, according to some people, me also by the way, where Bitcoin is falling. Because you want to keep your Bitcoins because they feel like gold and you don't want to spend them. But if you don't spend them, it's not a currency. To avoid the deflation crisis, there are many ways. Basically, the basic point is to understand that it's pretty impossible to have a currency that works as a store of value and as a mean of payment. These things should be separated. It's schizophrenic to think that you can